Mr. Ice in his veins. Bomb go top. He gets the damage in. He can't miss it. It's accuracy. Engage. Here we go. Juma. 1 versus 3. Now attaches the man to make the play. It's be attached. Locking it down. And Mac with the snap. Come in and dominate the respawn.
Welcome back, folks, to the Call of Duty League London home series. I'm Lando alongside Study and Nameless. Guys, it is set to be a fun one. The New York Subliners versus the Paris Legion, NY, off of a 3-0 loss earlier to the Empire. Paris, meanwhile, off a great win versus the Guerrillas. All right, guys, before we kind of even dive into things, we got to take a look at a few interesting conversations that have been going down over on Twitter. It's our Astro Social soundboard. Oh boy, this is a pretty fun one, as you guys can see. This is Zed's mom tweeting at Maven and Joe, basically saying, "Eat your words, Paris Legion." Now, to give a little bit of context, essentially, pretty much Joe and Maven had tweeted out a few, or not tweeted, but they had kind of predicted a few different things.
And me.
And Nameless as well, about how they thought LAG was going to take down Paris. Does not happen. Oh, man. Definitely some interesting conversation. We'll go and continue on with the thread a little bit. Zed ends up replying to his mom and says, we gotta prove ourselves before you can start throwing some shade here at the talent. And then after that, I love this reply, by the way. I love this reply from his mom. His mom, after this tweet, then goes on to say, "Then bloody just do it. Too much pressure here for us all." So it looks as if maybe some pressure coming through from Zed's mom. Obviously, it's great to see. But Nameless, what do you make of this, man?
I think it's hilarious because I actually had them predicted to win, and then I switched it in the middle of our segment. I was like, there's just no way they're going to win this series. And now, yes, I'm eating my words. Mama Zed, you were right all along. Your team just continuously beats the Guerrillas. You know, it's an impressive feat.
Yeah, the question is, though, can they do it versus and why? But
we'll see.
We'll go and talk about our game fuel keys to victory, and kind of going off of that, Nameless. We'll go and start things off with the Paris Legion. Again, a very difficult matchup ahead of them when we talk about the Subliners. But what are the keys to victory here for the Legion?
Well, we were kind of talking about it, before the segment began. All three of us, we were like, Den's had an incredible series, and that's huge for them. But there were other players who had big maps. Like, starting off, you had Zed with a big game initially to get him going. He's a player who he can be the X factor for the team as well. Luca in the Search and Destroy was fantastic. I just think they need to rally around Den's. He's making the game easier for the SMG players, and we're seeing them play a lot better, at least in that Guerrilla series. They just need to do that versus a better team. Versus the New York Subliners, it will be extremely difficult, but you need him to stay on point. He had a 1.4 in the last series. Yeah. I expect more of it.
Study, what did you make of Paris in the last series? You think they really kind of showed some stuff?
Oh yeah, they definitely did. We saw Luca. He actually woke up in that series and was dominating in the Search and Destroy. Went on to Game 3 and started dominating there as well. Then we see Kismet come alive in that Game 4. They were keeping up in that slaying department. So if they're able to do this versus New York, it should be fine.
Nameless, quick keys to victory here for Subliners?
Yeah, win the AR battle to take the pressure off the SMGs to perform. I mean, in the Dallas series, the maps are very close. Obviously, the M4s on New York didn't play that great. And on the flip side of that, Dallas, Clay, and Krim had an incredible performance. They had like a 1.25 and 1.15, both of them playing well. So I just think it was an off series for New York. I don't think that they got blown out by any means. I think in this series, they should be fine going up against Paris. They have the edge in nearly every aspect.
Yeah, it's fair to say that. Well, kind of in light of those conversations, let's go ahead and hop into some of our predictions for this series. Study, we'll start with you first, buddy. Subliners versus the Legion. Where are you leaning with this one?
Well, I hope Mama Zed doesn't tweet me after this, but I'm definitely going to go New York 3-0. I just feel like New York started off that series slow versus Dallas. All the maps are pretty close throughout the series, but I just feel like New York needs that wake-up call. We saw Zuma. He didn't really have a good map 3 versus them as well. So I'm just expecting this to be a 3-0 for them to get right back on track of where they were.
Nameless, your predictions as well, buddy.
Yeah, so Paris isn't going to go down without a fight, right? Like, you got to think about the situation Paris is in right now. They have to perform at this tournament if they want to get top 8, if they want to make winner's bracket at COD Champs, right? Like, the other teams behind them, they have another tournament to go to. I'm not even sure, but I don't think Paris is at the next tournament, so they have to turn up here. So this is huge, but they're still going to lose, right? I think they're going to take one map. I think it might be a closer series than what people think, based on the confidence and what we saw in the last series.
Now, like I said, I kind of echo what Study was saying there a little bit about Mama Zed. Listen, Apologies. I got to give my prediction as much as I hate to say it. I'm also saying the same thing as Nameless. I think the Subliners close it out in a 3-1. I think what we do have a good domination coming up for Paris, which we'll talk about here in just a little bit, but I think that has the ability to at least give them one map. I think that Paris are maybe I don't know, going off of that momentum from the last series that we got to see them in, but regardless, it is going to be an interesting one. Subliners are the more preferred team, but hey, the Legion could surprise us. It's going to be a blast, but Nameless, as always, buddy, thanks so much for taking the time to talk with us.
Enjoy, guys.
Appreciate it. Well, Study, like we said, man, it's going to be a great series to watch, and I think that it's kind of fair to say, right? Paris coming into this first hardpoint, they are the team to look at. We discussed it constantly. The Subliners, game 1 hardpoints, and even on a map like Ramaza, they are very, very well practiced. Are you looking at anybody in particular from the Paris side to put on a performance to make this one a close one?
I'm definitely still looking at Luka. Luka, last time he played this map was 15-30. He's going to need to be able to step up in that slaying department. He's not going against the LA Guerrillas, so on the opposite side, they've never played against Mac. These guys are both 1-1 against each other head-to-head, but overall, Mac wasn't on this roster. There's so much more slaying power on the side of the Subliners, and hopefully Luka will be able to keep up with it.
Yeah, that's kind of the big question for sure is, a few different players to look out for Paris. I think that's a very solid option to mention, but we'll see what the Legion can do. We'll see what the Legion can possibly muster up, as it looks as if off the break, it will be the Paris side with those preferred spawns. We'll see if that can continue to develop, and rather, if any Subliner players can start to sneak through, and that's kind of what it's all about on Ramaza, right, Study? I mean, it really is a matter of rotations. You get the right rotation, and it can really start to spiral the game.
Yeah, for sure, man, especially with this first hill being on this bridge area. It's all about rotating towards that P2, going around that left side, trying to be that nuisance to spawn them out, and it's looking like the Subliners have just done that perfectly, but that one player in Shocks was able to pick up a 2-piece on that rotation. They're going to have to try to figure him out and get him out of that next hard point, because that next one, they can hold a full 60 if they do have the spawns.
And shout out to Looney, by the way, because I remember after, I think it was like a certain event, a most recent home series, he was somebody who kind of went back and looked at a few different maps in particular and kind of pointed out Paris's struggles when it comes down to P2, their ability to rotate, their ability to hold electronic shop, and based on the way that they kind of played that rotation, it looks as if they have severely improved when it comes down to this hill. It looks as if they do have preferred spawns, and the Subliners are going to be doing their best to break through the front door. Luka, first one through the smoke, a few other players from the Subliners looking to break on in. It looks as if Luka, the Australian young slayer himself, unfortunately has to falter in the fight, but nonetheless, a solid hold. The Subliners begin to break through.
Subliners just flooding, getting a couple kills there to open up the front side of this hill. It's looking like they're just going to be able to hold this from this front side, but you see that player, number 6, who is going to be Luka, rotating towards that ruins. He's able to win that one-on-one gunfight, rotating towards that next hill at Barbershop, and that's going to be so huge. But you also have Attach that is playing that ruins area. It's going to be that nuisance. Is he going to be able to make a play here, go around the backside? But the way that Luka is positioned all the way behind Barbershop, it's looking like he's in a great position to pick up that kill.
Oh, they actually toss out the stun. The utility is there. Luka gets shut down. A very solid attempt coming in from Paris, but it looks as if New York are the ones with the successful rotation. Not all that common that you see a team successfully rotate from electronic shop to barbershop, but nonetheless, they're having a great time. They're getting themselves a trim, and they are cutting down everybody from the Legion who tries to walk through the front door. And it looks as if, for the time, New York sitting pretty inside of that hard point.
It was a beautiful pinch to break that spawn there. You had 3 players pushing through that ruin side, 1 player pushing from top bridge. The guy top bridge was able to win his one-on-one gunfight, forcing Luka to be the only one in the back. Fortunately, he doesn't win his gunfight, and just like that, the Subliners are able to break for that spawn. It's looking like they're going to be able to get the rest of this time. Now, it's all about that rotation to construction with 20 seconds remaining. Now, if I'm Paris, you want to decide to trap them in here and just keep them spawning back Barbershop. You need to be having someone off the rotation, which I'm pretty sure it's going to be Luka once again, and hopefully they can decide to start chaining some points here, because it's starting to get out of hand, Lando.
And it definitely is. And we have seen at times, rosters, whenever it comes down to that barbershop hardpoint, kind of get locked in the back of their base, and we'll see if the Legion can do that. Of course, just as I begin to even talk about the strategy, New York says, no big deal. Let's go ahead and rush through this thing. Temp says, hey, it's Ramaza, anything. We can dominate on it from time to time. They're walking in the construction zone. Zuma, unfortunately, ends up falling, hard hat falling all over the ground, but nonetheless, it looks as if Attach on the flank, SMG duo, doing everything he can We'll see if New York can actually be successful with this. You see a lot of the Legion players actually kind of spawning out toward the backside of bridge, and with that unfortunate spawn that they're getting, this is actually setting up the Subliners. So what study? We've seen in the last 3 hills, the Legion have somewhat been set up decently for a few of them, but the Subliners just keep walking through the front door and taking it.
Yeah, they just keep on retaking it from the front side, just head bashing, putting their guns right in front of them, just winning those solo gunfights. And the thing is, those little points are just going to eventually add up. They continue to just break these hard points from the front side. You have a player that's eventually going to go for the pinch. But on the side of Paris, you guys are set up for this ruins. You guys need to get a full hold here to bring yourself back in the game, because going into the second rotations, it's looking like the Subliners are going to have the preferred side for sure.
Seems to be the case, but Legion, like I said, with rotation right now in ruins. Luca, with that M4, thankfully has kind of the entryman of Zed, who hopefully will be able to take down Attach up close. And based off the kill feed, if that was in the indicator, it looks as if it will be the Legion having a successful hold, and that's going to make the scoreline look a lot better for them, it's fair to say. But just as I even mentioned that, Temp finds himself in a free hill. Well, we got 20 seconds left. Nobody's even here. Temp finally will enter in to a 1v1 engagement. Dens tosses out the stun, met by a nade, goes for the challenge, and gets cut down. What looked to be a good situation for the Legion actually turns out to be a pretty vacant hill, of which Donnie Temp walks to the door and says, "I'll be taking those points, thank you very much."
That's not too bad on the side of Paris, though. They ended up putting themselves basically at 100 points. You see a big gunfight two-piece out of Luca there. They're only down 36 points. After a first rotation, got to keep in mind that the Subliners are just head bashing the front side of these hills, besides that barbershop hill, and they were picking up extra time. Now, if we can get a great solid hold like they just had on that Ruins hill, then they should be right back in this game. All the kills are going in favor of the Paris Legion right now. They currently have this hill, and they have the spawns going for next. They're set up pretty well right now.
That's a good point, Stud. That's for sure, man. They are in a pretty good position when we talk about P2, and that very well could be their ticket to bring themselves back into this Ramaza. And Luca shocks Zed. Everybody starts to fill up the feed, and Zuma, without question, the farthest pushed up player, and if he can make a dent here in the Legion setup, that would be excellent. Finds the first, but unfortunately cannot turn in on the second, but that is going to set up his teammates for a quick push. So regardless of Zuma's death, it does free up some time, and if you look at that player number 3, that's going to be Temp coming in from that construction side. It's a pinch, and the Subliners, they win this rotation to Electronic Shop again.
That was beautiful plays out of the Subliners on the side of Paris. They just didn't really rotate to that hill, and when they did, Zuma was able to take down one of those players, stalling enough time for his other teammate to come in right behind, play for that trade. They sent 3 right through the front, Temp pinching through the back of construction, playing for the proper spawns. And just as I say that, Paris Legion are deciding to flood right through the front, pick up a couple kills here. You see Shocks, he's in here trying to contest it. It's looking like they're going to be able to pick up the final 20 seconds and bring themselves back in this game. But the only thing is, we're going into this barbershop, and they really didn't have an answer last time they were here.
That's a good point. Like I said, Legion, by no means out of this. I mean, what? They're literally going to nearly tie up the game.
Yeah,
so
it's a good game so far.
It definitely is, man. And I tell you what, we've seen some kind of blowout hard points. It's kind of nice to see a close one. Obviously, we had the Game 5 earlier, but you never know. This one could also have a Game 5 written all over it. We'll see what the Subliners have up their sleeves, and the Legion can surprise us. But like we said, we're going to need to see somewhat of a shocker. When it comes down to this barbershop, Dens, a man who definitely does not need a haircut. He's got a full head of hair, that's without question, and it looks as if in the meantime Legion gets some good spawns. They actually managed to break on in, and despite the rotations that we've been seeing from a number of different teams, it looks as if the opposition continues to break on in here, Study.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened there. Just 2 players on the side of Paris. They just spawned behind Barbershop. I'm guessing a couple New York Subliners players were just pushed up way too far in middle map, forcing the players from the Paris Legion to spawn behind them. Eventually getting the rest of this junk time to take this lead. They're going to be up 20 points. Now we're going into construction. Big one-on-one gunfight coming in from Luca. Is he going to be able to take down Attach and win this rotation? He still hasn't been able to spot him yet. On this rotate, the new hardpoint is popping. Now, if you're the Subliners, you want to eventually try to trap them. But as I say that, Luca is in this hill. Attach is the only one left from the Subliners here. Is he going to be able to pick up a couple kills? It's looking like he's just going to have to play his life here perfectly fine. Gunfights are going left and right. Mac and Temp with the 2. Here comes Attach. 3 down for the Paris Legion. And it's looking like with one more player left, New York is going to be able to secure this hard point.
And that's a fantastic call you had there, Stud. I mean, Luca literally wins a massive 1v1, but again, the same story. Subliners and Legion really both taking control over the hard points, breaking into the setups. And as we begin to call out a number of different sequences, the one that has to be brought into the limelight is Temp as he wins the 1v1 versus Kismet, generating the time. And in the midst of doing so also, while breaking into construction, we are thinking very far forward, about 3 hills in particular. But if you are the Subliners, even though you have to try to break in ruins from the front, you at least for now do have that spawn, but it's Kismet on the flank that actually could make this into a very awkward position. Accuracy pretty much all by his lonesome. A long-range fight usually wins those, but hey, Denz on the other end has been absolutely electric with the M4 himself.
Kismet just made that unbelievable play there. He was able to win that one-on-one gunfight from that player rotating from construction who was getting that junk time. In his position, he was pushing basically bottom middle, canceling that spawn from the Subliners that's spawning at the basically the B-bomb S&D area, and it forces them to spawn in construction. They're able to open this up. Only need 30 more points to play. Only need 30 more points to win the rest of this map, and they are playing this absolutely flawless.
They are, man. They're starting to surge together. Some wonderful, wonderful moments. The Subliners starting to get in a pretty awkward position, and we talk about that future rotation. That's what matters, and we've seen so many teams kind of falter, if you will, from that ruins, then back to bridge rotation. The Subliners get the last few seconds, but it's all for naught. It is all about bridge, and we'll see how the Subliners look to try and break this one. Pretty much all on the ground. Attach, Accuracy, and Mac, they're winning back-to-back-to-back gunfights, and Zuma, he's about to pick up Luca on the flank. That's exactly what you want to see as they break in just in the nick of time. Shocks from the skies. He gets cut down as well. And all Denz can do is pretty much watch from the ground at what is taking place toward the top side, which is the Subliners holding on valiantly.
Well, the good thing about that kill right there, Kismet was able to contest for 1 second, so the Subliners can no longer win on this bridge hill. They need to be able to set up towards that second hill, which is going to be P2. You see that number 2 player in Mac,
man.
and followed up by Accuracy, just immediately hitting that rotation. If you are the Paris Legion, you need to realize it's only 14 seconds left, but they can still do it here. Are they going to be able to hold this? 5 more seconds needed. Is there any Subliners players that are going to be able to contest this? Zuma climbing the ladder. Is he going to be able to pick up a couple kills? Stay alive, and he contests this long enough, rotating to the P2 hill. Subliners are fully set up. Paris Legion only needs 1 more point. Are they going to be able to break in here and get this final second to win this map?
The Italian Stallion just made the play, literally contest for the right amount of time. Can the Subliners hold on to this, or can Paris Legion run right through the door? We're about to find out. It looks as if Legion managed to do it. They managed to walk away with this hard point, and what an insane ending to this one. Totally back and forth. It was Zuma who managed to force the rotation over here toward Electronic Shop, but despite having that setup, Paris, regardless, managed to take it. What an insane game number 1 between both of these teams. And Study, I hate to bring it up, but in terms of predictions, I think everybody in some ways just got blown out of the water in terms of what they expected.
Couldn't believe it. I thought that the Subliners are going to be able to come out firing on all cylinders. Not what the case was. You've seen that beautiful play out of Kiz. I think that was a complete game changer when he killed that guy rotating out of construction and was able to pinch that spawn and force them all to spawn construction. They were just playing for that time in the ruins area, picking up basically every second possible, and it's truly unfortunate on the side of the Subliners, man. Everything was set up in their favor, especially going towards that barbershop hill. You had 2 players spawn behind them. Truly unfortunate. That's where I guess they lost the game, but Kismet made an unbelievable play to make sure his team was secured on this map.
Oh, yeah, man. What? I think Kismet finishes off, I think it was, 34-28. And he has been the guy, right? He's been the guy for the Legion pretty much since the start of the season that the conversation has been around. It's been, hey, if Kismet can turn up and if the rest of the roster can kind of start to unite around them, we can start to see them have success. But it is no surprise. Lottie brought it up in the interview, and absolutely correctly so. The Legion recently, not the greatest. Obviously, we've seen them have a few victories from time to time. We saw them obviously take down LAG. And then now coming into this series as well, they win the first hard point. We talk about the quick scope presented by the U.S. Air Force. You can kind of see the way the season has progressed. One team in the Subliners who made a roster change, who instantly has started to see success. The conversation around the Legion as well, Study, the lack of roster changes around this team.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, you feel like the Legion haven't really performed to their highest peak yet. So obviously people will talk about roster changes here and there, but it's looking like they're trying to find their final form as they were able to just play that first hard point unbelievably, especially since they lost that to the Guerrillas earlier today and they wanted to replay it. They must have known that there was a little mistake that costed them in that map, and they were still feeling really confident versus the Subliners, and they were able to win it 1-0.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we said, we kind of talk about it. That was obviously the maps and modes by the U.S. Air Force. But, you know, just in general, man, I'm excited. I think that this series has now been kind of broken open, as you kind of alluded to.
Yeah.
We talked about the search and destroy. That was the victory really wanted, and I think it was, I want to say in that same interview that Lottie actually had with Kismet, a quote from him that I kind of directly took that instantly stood out to me was when Kismet said that he basically went back to the staff of the Paris Legion and said, listen, we got to figure something out, right? Our respawns are not consistent enough, and he was the one apparently who brought up that the main focal point for them needs to be in search and destroy. And Study, clearly that has been working, considering the fact that as we watch this highlight back, the Legion managed to 6-0 the Guerrillas, a roster who has been absolutely fantastic in this mode. It looks as if maybe that practice, that conversation that Kismet had, is working out very well for them.
No, yeah, for sure, especially because that was the Guerrillas' best S&D map. I'm pretty sure they were 6-2, absolute dominance all across the board. I'm pretty sure you had players at like a 1.4, 2 players at a 1.4, and now I'm pretty sure Blast was like a 1.6. So the fact that they were able to 6-0 them on their best map, confidence is on the roof for the Paris Legion.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see how we're going to go into this St. Petro, because I'm pretty sure the Subliners are 6-1 on this map. We saw Attach yesterday hitting some insane shots with his sniper, and on the other side you have Paris, who are 5-6. So it's looking like they are basically almost at 50% down the line. And when you're talking about the Subliners, I'm thinking the backbone is going to be Attach and the boys, especially on this map.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. I was curious, like from the Subliners specifically, like who you're really looking out for. Is it Attach?
Yeah, definitely Attach. You saw the plays he was making yesterday. He was able to pick up 2. You got to understand, like, their adjustments on that middle map. They were pushing up that B side, playing aggressive towards Kitchen. And then once they realized that players were starting to rotate out, you have Attach with that line of sight, sitting on top of that pool area with the sniper, just watching them all cross out. If nothing happens, they eventually wrap back right through middle into that A site. Hopefully Paris is going to have an answer for it.
Well, shout out to our stats team. S&D, St. Petro, KDs. New York 1.02, Paris 0.94. It looks as if we get a nice little reference back. Kismet says, oh, forgot the bomb. Rather unfortunate. Regardless, they're here, they're ready to go, and Zuma greets them right as they begin to run on into the bomb site. And that's what we can expect to see from the Italian stallion. Already starting to trample on a few of the Legion players, as we'll have to wave goodbye to Shocks for now. It looks as if, for the current time, New York pretty much just set up, waiting for the challenge, as Legion have still yet to plant this bomb.
I'm just looking at the mini-map, and I'm just watching number 5, which is Zuma, who's going to be sitting in the middle of the map. I know he eventually is going to hit that flank. Is he going to be able to run into one of the players that was watching it? He might get good timing, depending on when he decides to do it. He's going to decide to hit it now. 1-on-1 versus him and Luca. Is he going to be able to win the gunfight? Luca's going to be able to take him down. 4v3 situation in favor of the Subliners. Nobody currently on bomb. As I say that, Zed's able to take him down. Bomb's getting planted. Mac takes him down. 20 seconds remaining on the clock. Attach and accuracy in a 2v2 situation.
Attach finds one from the skies. That one's going to be on to Dens, and we know Attach, he loves situations like this, a 1v1, and he's got a great spot as Luca has to go for the plant. On top window, shuts him down, a 1 versus 2. As Attach early, the difference maker, as you already called it, Study, manages to walk away with a clutch to give the Subliners the early round victory.
Yeah, it all started with Zuma's first blood nade. You know, he was able to pick up that first blood, basically slowed the Paris Legion down from their initial play. They probably were trying to go into that A bomb site, put the bomb down immediately, or trying to be aggressive towards that top window. They threw a lot of tacticals at Mac at that top window. They just didn't have the amount of players to push him out correctly. Great first round out of the Subliners.
See what they can do now on their own offense. Same bomb site. Except trophies are out, utility is there, and Temp is ready to run straight through the smoke. Hops on the van, and my goodness, Temp definitely taking a few shots to the body, but still remains alive. Johnny Temp, a man of many lives, apparently, as Luka does manage to lock in the first blood, continually being a factor in those crucial moments. Ends as well with the M4, cleans another up. And despite the 3 versus 5, while New York's actually going for a plan, it's going to be Zed on the flank. A wonderful position for him. Does Mac read it? He does, but instantly gets traded out. And now it is all going to be on accuracy. A 1 versus 4. They call him the Iceman for a reason, but too many players, too little time, and Paris Legion, they get the defuse.
You can just tell that the Paris Legion watched some VODs yesterday, and they know Attach is just going to be sitting at that top pool area. They send one player right up middle, and Luka going all the way around the water street, was able to catch him by himself. As soon as that happens, they realize that all the players must be in A. Eventually, you just trap them all in, and that's exactly how they executed it. Perfect round out of Legion.
Yeah, like I said, I am kind of curious too, like, you know, if the Legion did kind of watch back VOD. I think that was also, and I know I keep mentioning this back, but Lottie just did such a fantastic job in the interview with Kismet, but I'm pretty sure that he was mentioning, like, one of their main focal points has been watching VOD, making sure they're kind of doing their homework on different teams, and like I said, a roster from the Subliners, a team that everybody's trying to figure out, as they are the defending champions. We got to realize that, right? They win the New York home series, look fantastic, went on an incredible map streak. Search and Destroy definitely one of the big difference makers, but already here into round 3, Legion on the offense, and Zed, as per usual, being one of the farthest pushed up players, always trying to be that difference maker. Attach fires out the shot, nothing landing though. And if you are Zed in this moment, it's really just kind of the conversation of, hey, I've got the front, we just need to make sure that this top window perspective is cleaned out. And Shocks, if he can find the right timing, he's got 2 players here. It's just a matter of hoping that New York will play all the aggressive bomb being planted. Shocks shows himself, tries to take the gunfight onto Mac. They clear him out. And if you are the Legion there, Study, you're actually happy in terms of getting that plant down, that the challenge doesn't have to happen. Kismet's watching the rotation, attaches pistol whipping players up close. Din's there for the trade. And now, quickly, it is Temp left all by himself. And Legion continue to thrive over at this bomb site.
Love the positioning out of Zed, but that play literally comes down to Kismet for me. He decided to hit that water street and go for that late pinch. Unfortunately, the player number 4, I think it was Accuracy, got really bad timing when the guy crossed that water street. Kismet was able to come up behind, forces players from the Subliners to turn around and focus him as he was able to pick up a kill. And then you just see the numbers just decrease as it goes. Paris Legion with a great execution there.
I'll be honest with you, Study. I'm very impressed with what we've been seeing from the Legion. I mean, obviously they're a great search and destroy team at different times, but I think their practice in S&D has definitely started to pay off. But practice can only do you so much, as Zuma, instantly on the flank, does manage to get cut down, but nonetheless his presence is definitely felt. And when you get a player like Zuma who's running throughout the map, you also do get a ton of information, Study.
Yeah, definitely, because Zuma's playing so fast, he decided to just smoke right up mid-map, run through that archway, pick up one. Unfortunately, he ran into a wall there, so he couldn't really pick up the second, but it's just fine. The player that I'm watching now is going to be Luka. He understands that the player on flank has to be attached. He's going to be coming up right behind him in pool area. You see Accuracy is going to be sitting top kitchen. He's going to have a 1v1 gunfight here pretty soon. Is he going to get bad timing in that middle of the map? Subliners currently do have 3 players at this A bomb. They isolate Luka, double push him out. Accuracy's picking up the flank from this top kitchen window. He should be able to take down one, just like that. 4v1 situation for Dens, and Accuracy with the big 2-piece to close out that round.
Yeah, big stuff coming in from Accuracy late, and he has been a player that you have to talk about when it comes down to the Subliner success. I mean, I think I was contesting the point that we saw recently, and there was a big conversation of, like, you know, was Accuracy the MVP? In certain ways, it could be argued, right? He is the captain for this team. He often is kind of leading communication, and that M4 role, it has by no means been an easy one necessarily for him. We've seen him majorly improve with this new meta, and you could argue that's just one of the many layers that the Subliners have had as of late. And as we talk about the Subliners, All of them thankfully dodging that sniper coming in from Luka, but Zed says, you know what, this kind of worked for Zuma. Let me try it myself. Does manage to be successful in finding that first blood. But also at the same time, does take down Zuma. So you've already taken down one player toward the back, one player toward the front, and it's instantly going to be a 2 versus 5. His accuracy is trying to do everything he can to at least make these numbers somewhat more even. But nonetheless, the presence is felt from Legion. They are playing absolutely fantastic, but accuracy up close, can't get it done. Legion, another round.
Beautiful play out of Zed. He said, Zuma, anything you can do, I can do better. Smokes right up middle map, runs through the archway. The only thing is, he went left instead of right. Was able to take down one. Zuma was playing for the trade, but as soon as he went to slide cancel and push him, a car bomb blew up, made him one shot. Zed hit him with one bullet, opened that A bomb site up with that 2-piece. Shox was able to follow up with the third. They just overwhelmed that A bomb site. Great round out of the Paris Legion.
We keep saying it, Legion, they're impressing us. And this very well could be their opportunity to go up 2-0 versus the Subliners. By no means a result that many were thinking. Mama Zed, I know that you were. I know that you were. You said, now's the time. Why not now? Legion, a big defensive round for them. If they could go up 4-2, it just puts them pretty much at ease, allows for them to have some creativity when we talk about search and destroy. But the Subliners decided to slow things down. They said Zed was a little bit too quick for us. It looks like they're looking for picks, but Paris not too prone to want to give them any.
This is exactly how they played yesterday on this map. They decided to just all stack this kitchen area and eventually work that rotation back towards that A-bomb right through middle map. Zed and Dance making unbelievable plays there. They were able to take down 3. Now in a 2v4 situation with 25 seconds remaining. Bomb is down on Water Street. I guess the only bomb site they can go to now is B. So all the players are just backing up, knowing that they basically have the round win. You see number 7 Kismet set up in a perfect position there to take down Zuma. 1v4 situation with attached with the sniper. I know he's a really good sniper, but there's no way he's going to be able to pull this off. Can't even get a bomb plant. Kismet's going to be able to take him down. I love how Paris did not panic there. They just held their position, stood their ground. Perfect plays out of the Legion.
Yeah, I think, too, that's kind of a testament as well to this roster to kind of know when to slow things down and to kind of read exactly what the opposition is doing, which is something that you really have to appreciate from the Legion, their ability to kind of, learn exactly what the offense is doing, to kind of be under the realization of what the opposing force is looking to do. Nonetheless, impressive stuff from the Legions. Now they are put in the swing round position. We talk about it often, right? 5-2 in comparison to 4-3. Absolutely a make or break if you are the Subliners. As Zed again on the flank. No one from the Subliners even knows that it's happening, and the one man that you'd expect to maybe also be flanking is cut down. In the meantime, at least for the Subliners, they can give Denz a pat on the back and say thank you so much for finding the team kill, as Temp will wipe him out. 3 versus 2, advantage to New York, as Luka does manage to grab the bomb. And now we've got a spread right here, Study, for the Legion. You've got Luka, who might need to make the rotation. Kismet, 45 seconds left. He's doing all the work he can to try and clear out B. And the Subliners, they're all hanging out together.
Yeah, 3v2 situation, but it all came down to Temp versus Denz. Denz was that bomb carrier on the backside of that A bomb site. Temp just decided to run right up middle map, go for the chow, and eventually won that gunfight, put the bomb down. Beautiful win out of Temp. The round could be totally different as I say that. Kismet able to take down Temp. Now in a 2v2 situation, bomb needs to be planted. 15 seconds remaining. Shot's gonna go down onto Mac. They probably understand. I don't know if Mac's going to see him on this bomb site. They're going to decide to rotate back. Mac might get great timing here. It's going to be able to take him down. They must be able to locate Kismet. Is he going to be able to win this gunfight versus accuracy? I expect a 2v1 challenge, nothing less. I don't want to be catching one of my teammates on the bomb site. Kismet able to take down accuracy, get out with his life. Now to 1v1 versus Mac. Doesn't have the dead silence, and Kismet is gonna go huge for his roster once again. Hitting that late flank around Water Street is really beneficial for Kismet. Unbelievable 2v1 clutch, and let me tell you, that's a dagger round if you're the Subliners.
Oh, absolutely. My goodness, what a play coming in from Kismet. We talked about how influential he was in the hard point, and he was the difference maker in the swing round there. A massive situation of which I thought the Subliners read it pretty well, Study. I thought that Mac just had the great intuition. That surely was going to be it, but we see the back-to-back 1v1 challenges, and Kismet 7-3. Very well could be the difference maker, but already off the start, Kismet doing the work again, finds the first, instantly does get cut down. But nonetheless, the Subliners, they want to make their presence felt. They are trying to bully themselves onto the bomb site, but Shocks, he is having none of it. Zed also cuts down another, and it is all left up to attach. The solo man over at the B bomb site, a 1 versus 4 for the game, as this should be Paris going up 2-0 in the series. It's crazy to think about, but nonetheless can attach, at least keep this one going. Can he try and delay it for as long as possible? And he's walking on his tippy toes. He's trying to be extra careful, does not want to give any audio cues away to the opponent. Dens, Shocks, Zed, Luca, all pretty much around the same area. Attach walks up to the bomb site, sees the feet of Dens just underneath the van. Getting shot from his side, tries to instantly go for a challenge and cut down. And just like that, the Paris Legion find themselves up 2-0 after a fantastic search and destroy performance here on St. Petro.
I can't believe it. The Subliners just left their flank open basically every round. Didn't matter if it was on defense or offense. Luca was exposing it when they were on defense. Kismet was exposing it when they were on offense. Beautiful adjustments out of the Legion. Like I said, they must have did their homework. They completely took Attach out of the game with that sniper. I understand from the Subliners, their go-to play is just to try to be aggressive into that A site. But it wasn't really working out, man. I would have liked to see more mid-map adjustments, rotating back eventually towards that bomb site. Just a one round where it happened, where they all stacked kitchen, all the kills were in favor of Paris Legion. And I honestly can't believe it, but the Legion are dominating the series right now.
They are, man. They're looking absolutely fantastic. We'll go and pull up our U.S. Army tactical play, and I feel like it can't be anything else other than that Kismet 1 versus 2 situation. I mean, whenever he was kind of in that moment, that was kind of the setup that we had, right? It was a matter of, hey, if Kismet can win this, if Paris could walk away with the round, this would surely be the dagger, and it turned out to be. But Study kind of walked me through this 1 versus 3 overall, and in some situations, but 1v2 specifically.
I think it all comes to the positioning of Kismet. He was able to take that down one on the flank. Unfortunately, Mac doesn't get that line of sight to realize that Luca was on that bomb. Obviously, he was able to take him down, but Kismet plays his life here perfectly. What I would have liked out of the Subliners was a challenge from the same side. You see Mac trying to wrap that train, and unfortunately, accuracy challenges before Mac even has a line of sight onto him, and it forces it into a 1v1. Kismet doesn't have dead silence, just playing his life perfectly, takes down Mac. If they just challenge from the same side there, it's a totally different round. It was unfortunate timing from Mac trying to wrap that train. He was just able to get into that building and play his life perfectly.
I'll be honest with you, Study. I am very interested to see exactly how this domination is going to go. Yeah. Not just in general, but based off of the way that we are right now. Paris, if you are in their shoes, this is their best map and mode. When we talk about domination, Gunrunner, they could not be more excited. But can New York bring it back? Are we going to see Legion shock the world in 3-0? We're about to find out.
From Paris, France, this is the Legion.
They're firing together as a unit. There's just a wall of bullets there from the Paris Legion as they will hold the line.
Stand with the cluster!
Luca with the challenge!
The third in a row for Paris! This could not have been a better setup now from the French. I love it.
Kismet is on fire.
He's in a great position. Shocks has got 2! Paris have just gone and stole another round.
Call of Duty League is brought to you by Metro by T-Mobile. Stay connected to what matters most with the best value in wireless.
Lottie, I'm going to put a lot of pressure on you to start the show.
Okay.
Who looks better in this new shirt?
I was about to say, I don't know about this. Oh, this is tough. Do I go?
I look kind of jacked, right? Like,
The boys, I put on my New York shirt as well. This thing feels amazing.
we've all got it on? Should we do a New York shirt dance?
This has to be the best event so far because New York sent us a free shirt.
That's just how good of a food it is foundationally. You can throw whatever you want. Eggs, doesn't matter. It can taste good. Ranch dressing, I've seen that done before. Ooh. Delicious as always. Pizza, you can't go wrong.
It's a maybe guarantee. Okay. It's happening one way or another, Joe.
Images, yes, that's it. That is a lot of hair on the man on the left. It only took 2.5 hours to trim me down only 2.5 to what vaguely resembles a human being on the right hand side. But I received a lot of tweets. Some people were like, you should never have gotten rid of it. What a mane that is. But like, listen here, people. None of you had to dry that thing. None of you had to sleep with that. None of you had to wear headphones with that thing on your head. Like.
Oh boy, those are always fun, man. I tell you what, those were our Astrocaster comms. Listen, we like to have some fun. We like to have some fun. Listen, Study, we've been sitting here for a very long time, and I'll be honest, I am very, very worried about the next Astrocaster comms. I'm worried that we may have a few different conversations, some funny ones, but ones that may make it on air, and ones that we probably didn't think that would show up to thousands of people around the world. But, you know, it is what it is.
Nah, yeah, for sure. The only thing I was looking at right there, though, was Miles's beard. It's so perfect, man.
It is, man.
So perfect.
It is absolutely lovely. We love Miles. I'll get to see him in just a little while, but regardless, man, we talk about this series. I'm sure that Miles is pretty excited about this, by the way. He always talks highly on the Legion. Got some Australian people, you know, on this roster as well. Shocks, Dens, Luca, they're putting it on for their team, for their country, really. But in general, Domination Gunrunner, man, like we said, if you are the Paris Legion, you could not ask for a better map and mode to come to. This has been Study. This has been their map. This has been their mode. They were dominant on Domination Gunrunner to start the season. They have been fantastic on it throughout the year. Granted, you know, they I believe that they did lose it not long ago, but nonetheless, if you are Paris, this is a situation where you're feeling comfortable in. Can we see them 3-0 the Subliners? I never thought I'd say it, but I think that it's starting to become more of a possible reality.
Yeah, man, especially because the way that Subliners do their pick and bans, they automatically ban St. Petrodome. They have never played it. They don't plan on playing it. They've only been basically playing Hacking Yard, and they must have realized, like, all right, they beat Chicago on it. They beat a lot of teams that are top on that map. So we're just going to take that out and play our best map. And that's such a great backbone for the Paris Legion going into this map.
It absolutely is, and we'll see what the Legion can do. Again, it's going to be an interesting one to watch to see how the Subliners kind of react, because it's not been often that we've seen the Subliners come back from this position. In fact, the Subliners Study, they have never completed a reverse sweep. So, I'll be honest, I mean, if it was time to write history, it would be now, but that's not the most comforting thing, I think it's fair to say, for New York fans.
No, yeah, absolutely. You have never been able to come back from a reverse sweep. You're currently down 0-2 to a team that I thought was a lot not as good as the Subliners.
Exactly,
and now
right?
you're playing on Gunrunner, and this is not one of your best maps. This is currently the Legion's best Dom map. So this is a very scary sight. Your back's against the wall if you're the Subliners. Someone needs to step up, and they need to step up big.
They absolutely do. And it looks as if the Subliners, at least for now, not holding on to B, but at the very least continuing to issue efforts from cargo over at that C flag. Azuma, watching it be vacant, takes down Dims for the first and has to be aware of the players that does exist just on the outside. Zed there to cut him down, and Zed honestly has kind of been the thorn in the side throughout a lot of this series. We talked about his ability to flank constantly back on that St. Petro. I mean, he was the difference maker on a number of different rounds in that last game study.
Yeah, he was just pushing up middle map with that smoke grenade, just picking up those kills. Able to flank it the first time, get 2. Second time, did the same exact play, got another 2. He's just opening up the map for his team, playing really confident, and it's definitely showing.
It absolutely is. We'll see if the Legion can keep up this same fight. Zed, without question, one of the players we've been looking out for. Kisman as well, been playing fantastic. And it looks as if the Legion are going to run right into B, claim that one for their own. They pretty much put their stamp of approval on it. And now they've got the 2 flags set up, and if you are the Subliners now, by being on that preferred side, at times it can get a little bit scary, but you want to continue to kind of throw some efforts at B, make sure you have some mid-map control, and more importantly than anything, once you kind of get that control, continue to be a nuisance at C, which is exactly what we're seeing the Subliners do right now. It's attach and accuracy, the long-time duo, the long-time good old buddies, unfortunately getting picked apart as Zed and Kismet. They do the damage. The SMG duo for the Legion continue to be relied upon.
That was beautiful, man. They just were able to get those 2 players off of C, and the Subliners immediately, as they knew, they had man advantage at that B flag. Fortunately, the gunfights go in favor of Luca and the boys, and they were able to just dominate, get 5 clean down, and now they're up, just building this lead, currently up 23 points. This is really getting scary for the Subliners. They need to be able to bounce back, probably get a neutral, because going into the second side, it's going to be a lot more difficult.
It definitely is. Things are not looking great for the NY side, but in the meantime, let's go ahead and go to an Astro Gaming listen-in with the New York Subliners.
Good job. I'm reason to say.
I got one you.
One's P3. I'm coming to help you, Box. I'm one shot.
I'm gonna go.
He's the left side P3. I'm pretty sure. Boxes, Dins. One back there. I'm looking boxes. Pulling an AR back out.
Brick alley. He's going. I want to see you guys.
I want to see. I'm going back to C.
One's on C.
Yeah, I'm going to crate.
Water right now.
You guys got to hold C. I'm going towards C. And boxes. Yeah, right here. Dead. Nice job. Alright, we gotta push for B right here. It could be bath. I'm going top open.
Anything bad?
More in the corner over here. I'm flashing back red.
Brick alley and lockers. Lockers,
rush me. One shot, kid. Back.
I'm thinking you right now.
I know how to win. Boxers heady.
Oh, he's back.
Come on, Deep. You guys gotta live. Nice, good job. This could be a 3.
Yeah, you get a 3. You bring this back.
Finesse C after you get it. I am. I'm gonna help you. C on me, bro. I'm nading C. They're gonna be hurt. First down. Take one to chow. Child me. Oh, one's deep right. Yeah, deep right into 1 D.
Got one more mid tracks. He's going for kill.
Mid tracks. Dead. The last couple ticks. Job.
All right, that's the Subliners. Got to take a quick little listen in with them. All right, Zuma. Okay, well, at least the last few seconds are over for Luca, but nonetheless, a solid first half, really, from the Legion. We got to listen into the Subliners kind of toward the end their study, but nonetheless, the way that this game kind of started off, no matter how the Subliners played, it was always going to be a deficit. Granted, they kind of cleaned things up, but again, you're kind of happy with it, I feel like, if you're the Legion.
Oh, you're definitely happy. You can hear it on the side of the Subliners. It sounds like they're starting to panic. You heard Temp. I'm bringing out the M4 again. The kills just weren't going in the favor of the Subliners. That's one thing from the beginning of this series, man, where we were just saying if Paris Legion were able to keep up in the slaying department, they are a totally different team. And every single map, they've just been contesting these boys, and they are just putting on an absolute show. And they are continuing to ride this horse for them. And it's getting really scary for the Subliners, man. They need to be able to hold a 2 cap at least for a couple seconds here, because the way that Paris Legion are playing this, as I say that, get 4 down, immediately pushing up towards this B flag, they're just going to continue to add on to this lead.
and I'll be honest with you, I've seen the Legion multiple times throughout the CDL season do a fantastic job at constantly causing problems over at that C flag. I will say this. I think that they are one of the best teams at constantly providing pressure when they hold down over at A. But hey, look at this. In the meantime, somewhat of an interesting spawn spread coming in from the Legion. That's going to be player 2. That's actually Mac, who does get cut down on the flag. But in the meantime, it looks as if the Legion managed to clean things up. Somewhat of a glimmer of light for the Subliners. Not overall affecting the score as much as you'd like, but hey, that's what they're going to need to do as time continues to roll on. But the Legion already causing problems at C. Mac has to reference Mac, make sure that he's got this one in their grasps, and manages to do so. But this is the continuous kind of back and forth effort it's going to take from the Subliners study. They're going to have to fight through C and continue to fight the wave of the Legion players that are going to come at them.
Honestly, the way that the Paris Legion have been playing this so far, they are so dominant at holding that B flag. And you always have a player that's sneaking through and just neutralizing C and staying alive. They are making the Subliners work so hard. Luca was just on a 5 spree. I'm pretty sure he was that player at that C flag, staying alive in bathrooms the entire time, just stalling time, neutralizing when he needed to, forcing players from the Subliners to wrap back. Now it's looking like the Legion are going to decide to go for the C flag. They have 3 players committed to it. One player from the Subliners currently in bathroom, and that player number 2, Max, is gonna get naded. So just like that, we have one player in bathrooms. He's gonna be able to get him down, and just like that, they take the C flag. They're up 30 points. The Subliners got their back against the wall. They need to make a play here quick, or this is gonna be a 3-0.
Like I said, man, the Legion, they know how to play over at that C flag so well. Thankfully, if you're Mac, you managed to find the first, but nonetheless, it is chaos. It is a very problematic situation to have to deal with the Legion right now, and at this point, it's starting to settle in the back of the minds for New York. Are we about to get 3-0'd and knocked out by Paris after kind of being the defending champions from our own home series? It would definitely be a turn of events, but hey, we've still got 2 minutes left to play. The 2-minute warning is officially set in stone. The whistle is blowing, and we'll see if the Subliners can start to echo back. A few early engagements, accuracy wins it, tosses out the trophy, and we'll see if the Subliners can start to hedge on forward. Dents with the backlines, he gets cut down. B flag, back to New York.
They're currently down 30 points, so eventually they need to go for a neutralization on this A flag, because with 2 minutes and with the 2 cap, you can only get 24 points. Now, if you're the Subliners, this is where it's scary. You have a permo ban on a game type, on a game mode, which is St. Petrodome, and this is where if they ban your Hackney Yard and you're going up on Gunrunner, you need to be more consistent on this map.
Yeah.
There's no way that you should be able to put up the show, especially relying on Hackney Yard basically every series that they play. When they get Gunrunner, they're basically not showing life here. They currently do have the 2 cap, and they're also down 22 points. Like I said, they need to be able to get a neutralization on this A flag. All the kills going in favor of the Paris Legion. With 1 minute left, you see that player on C going for the neutralization. This is looking like it's going to be done.
It's looking like it just may be, and why. It's going to have to be right now. Literally no more engagements, no more time for fun and games. It has to be in this situation. The Legion continue to walk away with fights. Kismet, he's streaking right now all the way through Waterside, looking to try and shut down Mac from the flank. The one player is trying to go for the neutral, and they will be unsuccessful in Y, a.k.a. the New York Subliners, a.k.a. the defending champions from their own home series, are going to be 3-0'd by the Paris Legion, a series that we very much thought would probably be a 3-0 the opposite way, if not a 3-1. We counted them out, but it looks as if we're the ones that unfortunately have to deal with an inaccurate prediction. Mama Zed, Paris Legion fans, stand up because you just took down the defending champions. Be proud of this as they will head to a CDL Sunday for the first time since the London home series.
That is absolutely stunning out of the Legion, man. Mama Zed, the production must have got my prediction wrong or something. I definitely put Paris 3-0. Definitely did. But I'm just still mind blown that they just came out and played so consistent. And this is why this team can be scary, because consistently across the board, they were keeping up in the slaying department, helping each other out in all game modes. And that's why this team is so scary. We saw them dominate that search and destroy versus a team on the Subliners who were 6-1 on that map. And that is where the Legion just took it all from me. Once they won that search and destroy, I couldn't believe it. Moving into their best domination map, congratulations to them on the 3-0.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'll be honest, I was kind of surprised after the first Ramaza, because we literally saw Paris, I think it was just the day before, lose on that exact map of Ramaza 250-73. Like, that was one of the worst losses we have seen. They come down here, they face off against the New York Subliners, considered to be one of the best hardpoint teams in the game, and they drop them. Granted, it was an 8-point game, but just to kind of echo what you've been saying, Study, very, very impressive stuff coming in from the Legion. And that kind of shakes up things now, right? I mean, this totally kind of shakes up what will be a fantastic CDL Sunday. When we talk about top 4 teams, obviously not all of that decided as of yet, but there's definitely one team that is definitely shocking the world right now. And when we talk about playoffs, when we talk about champs, this is so massive for the Legion, because if you think about it, this is actually their last event, right? They don't play in Toronto. This is their very last home series. So getting as many points as they can. When we talk about seeding, that is going to be huge, and it looks as if Legion, they're at the very least going out with some style.
That was an unbelievable performance out of the Legion. Nameless said it from the rip. Wrap around Dens, play around him. He was basically the man AR that was shutting it down. But every single one across the board were making plays when they needed to. Kismet and Zed in that S&D. Zed and Luca right there at the very end of that domination, just going to that C flag, neutralizing it, just being a nuisance at that flag. Beautiful plays out of Paris Legion. Great 3-0.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at our U.S. Army tactical play. This one going to come through from Luca and Zed, and I'll be honest with you, man. I mean, these guys were just absolutely fantastic pretty much all the way throughout. They were kind of constantly being major nuisances, and they were constantly causing havoc on the map. And like I said, this was really the issue. When we talk about this map in particular, the ability for the Legion to be consistent over at that C flag, either on the preferred side or the non-preferred side, they were absolutely electric, and not enough can be said from guys like Luca, and honestly guys like Zed all throughout this map.
Yeah, man, they were just holding down that B flag the entire time. Dens was posted up with that AR, dominating that flag, just giving his teammates that opening. Luca and Zed, you saw Luca go on a 5-kill spree in bathrooms. He neutralized that flag at least 3 times, forcing New York Subliners to wrap back and eventually try to kill him. But he was just stalling so much time, building those points up for the Legion, and I'm just still at a loss for words, man. They just came out and played like I've never seen them play before, and I'm really excited to see them go against the Ravens tomorrow.
Definitely, man. Well, obviously that was our scuff play of the game, and definitely as we kind of take a look at that Saturday schedule, we talk about it from time to time. CDL Saturday, it is something serious, and at times we can see some crazy results happen. This one, definitely one of the craziest results we have seen as of late, as the Legion walk away with a hot 3-0 versus the Subliners. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting to see exactly how they do, like you mentioned, Study, versus the London Royal Ravens when we talk about tomorrow. But as I was referencing it a lot, Kismet in the interview with Lottie brought up a lot of crucial moments. We're going to go and head it back to them with Kismet in the PlayStation Instant Reaction.